Hello, I'm Tracy with MeatRx. I'm here with Natasha. Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Tracy.
Natasha is
It's
going
good.
to tell us about her success story with Carnivore. And can you start out by telling us what diet you were on and what kind of health conditions you had before Carnivore?
Sure, for sure. So, growing up was pretty much your standard American diet. We ate a lot of we ate a lot of fast food as well. There was a lot less cooking in the home. And then as I got into adulthood, I kind of started to follow. My husband and I experimented with different diets. Like we did a raw vegan diet for a little while. Horrible results.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was horrible. And then from then we went into your typical bodybuilding diet. So it was just like your, high carbs, high protein, low fat, and lean proteins, mixed, of course, with like protein powders and supplements and whatnot. And in about 2006, I was diagnosed with endometriosis. The doctor told me that it was just a condition from hormones in the food and that there was nothing I could do. I would just have to live with the pain for the rest of my life. That was it, that people were on pain medications and that was it. And then in about 2013, I can't really say too much about this because I haven't been checked recently, but in about 2013, I was diagnosed with colitis. And but I think it was a very mild form. Anyways, so about 2 years ago, we heard Dr. Baker on Joe Rogan's podcast, and we just decided to jump into it. We were like, this sounds easy. It sounds great. Coming from bodybuilding where you're cooking for like 6 meals a day and eating 6 times, and it just sounded like heaven. So we tried it, and it was sometime last year I realized I wasn't having any endometriosis pain. Like it was just gone.
Wow.
It was like months, and I was like, I had complained about it. And it was really interesting because at the same time, I was in Mexico, and what I thought was either a sunburn or a severe allergy coming out on the side. Like it was just this weird looking, it looked like a burn, like a blister. And then it just wouldn't go away. And at the same time, my husband had talked about oxalate dumping, and that's what it had been. So it was just really interesting how all that kind of came to. So yeah, I don't think we'll ever go back to eat like any other kind of diet.
Oh, okay. So you heard first about it with Dr. Baker on Joe Rogan, and then how did you begin implementing the diet, and like what kind of foods did you eat, and what do you eat now? Do you eat the same?
Sure, yeah. So we implemented it. We went cold turkey. It was just done. We're just going to do it and see what happens. And we started doing steak every day. So we're very lucky. We're very fortunate. We have a butcher that gets from a local farm. So we would just go to them and we would order steak. So we would do a combination of steak and ground beef. And we maintained that for a while. It's much easier for my husband, but I get a little bored with it. Although I'm very satiated, I do like to have some different things. So we'll like make ground beef like with burgers. I will have some chicken sometimes. Like we'll eat eggs and bacon, sausage, but we keep it carnivore, and that's kind of our typical diet now.
Okay, so do you eat any kind of dairies or anything? Cheese or
Yep.
eating?
Yep, we have cheese. I do eat cheese probably on a daily basis. And I don't really drink. We have our coffee black, but the odd time I'll have tea and I'll put a bit of milk in it. But that's really it.
That's really
Yeah. And I've been noticing that like I notice how it changed. Like when I do get hungry, I tend to want like our beef because it's like I don't know if it's like a mental thing that's just like I just feel better, like more satiated. It's like I could turn to something else, but I'd rather not.
Yeah.
It doesn't satisfy that hunger the same way. So
So how long have you been
yeah,
carnivore? And your husband and you both started at the same time, right?
we did, yeah. But what he did is when just before we started, he was starting to hear about the benefits of keto. So he was cutting back on his carbs and upping his fat. And he was like, I feel really good. I feel really good. And I was a bit more resistant to it. And then when we heard the podcast, we are like, let's try it. Let's just do it. And we cut everything. Everything
How,
just went right to
how long
meat.
ago? Oh, okay. How long ago was that?
It was 2 years in February that
2 years.
we made the plunge. Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so can you tell me more about like
Yeah.
how long did it take for the endometriosis to clear up or the colitis?
Um, so the colitis, again, like since when I was diagnosed with colitis, I was treated with a medication, but it was just a temporary. And ever since then, like I haven't really had any issues with it. So I can't really confidently say anything about that now because like digestively, I'm really good. So I don't know if it's lingering in the background or not. But the endometriosis was about a year and a half
Okay.
before I started to notice like no pain. Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
it did heal up
So
though.
it took, yeah, like it did. And what I've noticed is it did go away, and now I feel like I'm a bit more sensitive to things, so that if I did have something that was like sugar or outside of carnivore, I get the pain. But when there's nothing, there's no pain whatsoever.
Okay. And did you have anything else that you noticed that the carnivore diet changed for you?
Oh yeah, the energy level is just, it's different. It's not the same. And I noticed that even when I feel like I'm really tired, I'm okay. I'm not exhausted. I'm not like, I don't take naps anymore. There's no naps throughout the day. Our workouts have improved greatly. In the beginning, more so, like I noticed my strength went up, but I also, because we do go to the gym, we go at least 5 times a week. I just recently started to learn how to eat a bit more, that I need it more. So the strength went right up, and then it started to just kind of curb a bit because I wasn't eating enough. But I have great workouts on carnivore.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
much would you say you eat a day? You know, how much meat? Like a pound or two?
I eat more than a pound because in one sitting, like I'll eat about a pound of ground beef, and then in the next sitting we'll eat, the steak would be about a pound itself. So I'd probably eat about a couple pounds. And then just recently I've started to add eggs in the morning as well, with like some bacon, just as an extra meal, because the intensity of our workouts was just, I think it was too much. So we're learning as we go what's working for us. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you were doing 2 meals a day before, and now you kind of added in some breakfast.
Yeah. Yes, we did. And actually yeah, that's what it was. It was 2 meals a day, and then I had to add in breakfast because the hunger was just getting to be like, and I was getting weaker. So, but once I did that, I started to notice it went back up again.
Did your
Yeah.
husband notice any benefits, or do you?
Huge. Huge. For him, I guess, I don't know if it's different for men than it is women. Maybe with hormones it's a bit different, but for him, he just went right up and he never looked back. Like anyone who's in the bodybuilding community, like in order to add like so much weight to like a compound movement, it takes time. He was like adding like 100 pounds within like a couple months. Like it was crazy. And I remember I would get up early at like 6 o'clock, and he was already like been out to the store. He had his tax stuff on the table. Like his energy is insane. Even now, like he's finding he gets up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. He's just awake, and he's like that all day. He's like ready to go, 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 go.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So Do you add any extra fat to the meals, or do you just have what?
We've yep y- yep. So what we've started, it's just been recently as well, is we've started adding we've asked our farmer, because now we're dealing directly with the farmer. We're just buying the meat from him, and we've asked him for tallow. And until we get the tallow, what we've been doing is I bought some pork fat. So it's just a jar, just like the way the tallow would be. And we will put our burgers, like we fry our burgers in that, or we'll put it on top of our steak, and like we'll just try and get some extra fat like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So that really
Yeah.
gives you energy then too, the fat.
Yeah. It's helping for sure. Yeah, I definitely notice a difference when I'm not eating enough. Like it's like I'm more in tune with it too. I know that I need food, that I need something, which I've never had before. So that's pretty interesting.
Yes. And
Yeah.
so since you've been on it so long, have you noticed like a whole lot of added benefits in the second year that you did it?
You know what? Yeah. So not. I don't know if it's because it's more so in my husband. I noticed. Even comparing. So we're both 38. And even compared to a couple years ago, like even his sex drive is very different. It's very like I feel like it's a healthy drive, what we would hope to have, right? So that we noticed that for him. I was gonna tell you something else as well. Um, he also attributed to getting in touch with his emotions. He attributes that to the carnivore diet. He's like, he never felt things the way he feels them emotionally now, which is pretty cool.
That
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
guys have done really well. Like you look wonderful.
Oh,
And
thank you.
thank you so much for sharing your story.
Of course, I'm so happy. Like, yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me. Like, it's just, we're both blown away by how great this way of living is. Like, I'll never go back ever to
Really,
anything else. Yeah. Yeah.
that's great. Do you tell other people also?
Yes, actually, Colin got his dad. I mean, he's more keto, but it's closer to carnivore, and he's lost so much weight. He's working out, he's stronger. My mother started it as well, and she noticed that she has arthritis and it affects her in her knees. And she noticed within a couple of months, like she was able to like bend down and pick things up, and she was never able to do that.
That's incredible.
My sister, she's actually following carnivore too, and for a long time she was vegetarian for a long time, and she had this nasty rash on her arm, and it started to spread out to her chest, and she just couldn't get rid of it no matter what she did. She went carnivore, within months, gone.
Wow.
She's been following it since the beginning of January, and she's lost 30 pounds. She's feeling great. Rash is gone. Like, her boyfriend, he's noticed like his scalp is really good, like his hair. Oh my god, like there's so many, now that I'm like, there's so many stories. There's a musician my husband works with, he's down 70 pounds on carnivore. His hair is so good, his barber couldn't believe it and said that he was going to recommend carnivore to his clients because he could not believe how good his hair was.
Wow. So it was it growing more, or was it just like better condition? Or?
I I think I think it was just like there was no dandruff anymore, and his hair was just soft. Like it just seemed like it just wasn't dried out anymore. But he was so thrown back. He just said, "I'm going to start recommending this to my clients for their hair."
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah.
It's nice that
Yeah.
you're able to influence people too. Sometimes I try to tell people, but they don't.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, and I think it's really the mental aspect of it too. I think people just think, "Oh, I can't give up carbs," or but it's like once you do and you're satiated with the fat, the need's just not there as much, you know? So it's something you just have to try to like see if it works for you. And I haven't not heard of a story from anyone that didn't thrive on it.
Wow.
So
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much,
of
Natasha.
course.
It's wonderful to hear all these exciting things. And I
Yeah,
know,
so sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know it'll help a lot of people.
Yeah, like I'm so excited with the results that it's hard to keep it in. And it's, you just want to share, and I want to see other people succeed just as much. Like I love seeing it. So yeah.
It's
So
wonderful that you found it so early in life too. That's good.
I'm very, very thankful for that, and for Dr. Baker going on Joe Rogan and doing what he does, because it's just changed our whole life like dramatically. Like I even just the not cooking as much, and just given us more time to do other things that we like and enjoy.
Mhm.
It really helps. Every little bit of that helps.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. So, and even when my husband travels, he even finds, because he travels a lot for work, he even finds traveling on a carnivore diet is way easier
Really?
than.
So what kind of things does he do when he travels? Does he take food with him or?
Yeah, no. So he like they fly a lot, so he buys food on the road, but it's just so much easier for him. He'll fast, it's not a big deal. He's not going crazy to eat, and he'll just buy burgers, like plain patties without the buns. And if he has a chance to be in a restaurant, he'll order a steak. Like it's just so much easier to do than to follow like your bodybuilding diet, like a low fat, good carb. Like it's just so much easier.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's
So
great.
yeah, so we love it.
Oh, good.
Never going back.
Yay. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Natasha.
Oh, thanks so much, Tracy.
And we'll see you.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.